She started crying, like a little girl. "Don't leave me," she said. I rolled my eyes. If she believed what I said, that's her problem. But then again, I wasn't really surprised. Girls are always like this. They believe me every time. I left her house, then headed back to mine. There, I saw my parents fighting. Again. Mom was holding up her phone and showing Dad a picture. It was Dad, with a very hot girl. "Who is she?" my mom yelled. She wanted to know the details every time Dad so much as breathed near another woman. "Give a man some space to breathe," my dad yelled back. I defended him. I was always by his side. He was the coolest and smartest man ever. "Well, for God's sake, Mom! You're being dramatic for no reason. He's not cheating. Just get over it." Mom looked at me, coldly, and then said that I was just like Dad. With that, she walked out. "Thanks for the compliment," I called out after her. Then Dad turned to me and said, "Now that she's gone, son, I have a very important task for you. I'm going to meet a very important man." He said that this person was one of the most important businessmen in the state, that he wanted to convince him to become his business partner. Now, this man has a very lonely child who he loves a lot, and your mission is to make her fall madly and deeply in love with you. You have to make her convince her dad to sign the deal. I grinned. "Piece of cake, Dad. Consider the deal sealed." The next evening, we went to a restaurant. My dad had created the most romantic atmosphere. He really wanted this. My parents met her parents cheerfully, and I tried to flirt with her. But damn, she was ugly. Her mom, though, she was gorgeous. To make matters worse, Dad kept elbowing me and winking at me to approach the girl. He even told her mom we'd make a great couple. Ugh, there was no way I was doing it. She also kept batting her eyelashes at me. I was really creeped out. Just then, Josh, a close friend, walked into the restaurant with his parents. As soon as he spotted my date for the night, he really couldn't stop grinning. This was so bad for my reputation. "Hey," he said, walking over to our table. "Introduce me to your lovely new girlfriend." "Gross, Josh. She's not my girlfriend. She's, my sister." Her stupid smile disappeared in a second, and she looked like she was about to burst into tears. I excused myself to go to the bathroom, but instead, I just slipped out of the back exit. What did they expect setting me up with someone like that? I called up one of my girls, and we met to party. When I got home, my parents were in the middle of a fight. "I saw the way you were looking at her." She was yelling at him, but just then, Dad saw me and turned his anger on me. He was furious and said that I embarrassed him. "If you really want to make the deal, why don't you go out with her? Why set me up with her?" I yelled at him. "It's just one stupid deal." And she was too ugly. My mom was stunned as she figured out what we were talking about. "Oh, so this is how it goes." Dad told her to shut up, and things really escalated between the two of them. Mom kept saying that Dad was a monster, and Dad kept telling her to shut up. Then Dad said, "Get out of my house! Both of you! Leave! Now!" At first, I thought he wasn't serious, but in a few days, we moved into a small apartment. I knew that I pissed off Dad, but I was sure he would take us back. At least, he'd take me back. I didn't really care about Mom, but days turned to months, and we heard nothing from him. Mom didn't talk to me either. She said she was ashamed of me. "I'm just letting you stay because I feel sorry for you. You're an embarrassment," Mom said. Well, yeah? Who cares? I did the only thing that made me happy. Going out with girls. I called my friends over. We had a wild party. Mom got really mad and kicked everyone out. One day, Dad called and said he misses me and wanted me back. "I have so many important tasks for you," Dad said. I was thrilled, but he said he didn't want my mom. "I'm tired of that ugly woman," he said. I know, right? I grabbed my stuff and left to live with him. There, I saw something that thrilled me. He had a new maid. She was around my age. She was gorgeous. Her name was Stella. I was sure Stella would fall for me in no time. So I flashed her my most charming look. "Hey, how are you doing?" I asked. She looked at me and then looked away, like she'd seen a car crash or something. For a moment, I didn't know what happened. Had she just ignored me? She probably doesn't speak English, I thought. But then she said something to the housekeeper in fluent English. I gasped. Was she ill then? Terminally ill? But the way she worked, I knew she wasn't. Then what is it? I couldn't stop wondering. Meanwhile, when I wasn't completely distracted by the gorgeous Stella, Dad kept giving me all these missions to make wealthy men's daughters fall for me. I did it every time, and I gained my dad's trust again. But I just couldn't stop thinking about Stella. I saw her everywhere. Every brown-haired woman reminded me of her. She even popped up in my dreams. I kept trying to talk to her, but all she did was look at me like I was an idiot. One day, Dad called me into his room. He looked deadly serious, as he told me he had a crucial task for me. There's this man from New York, and he's willing to make $1 billion investment in our company, he said. That was great news. Why did Dad look so worried? He said that the trouble was this man's daughter. She was really nosy and always trying to influence her dad's decisions about the company to favor her boyfriends. Her dad listens to everything she says. I knew my job without him having to say anything else. Don't worry, Dad, I said. I won't embarrass you again. The girl I was supposed to flirt with was pretty and all, but man, she was insane. She was super jealous. The most jealous girl I've ever been with. She was so crazy. She would come to my house without telling me, and when I asked why she didn't call before coming, she would say, I just wanted to surprise you, babe. I missed you, and I needed to touch you. Well, that was a lie. She came over to make sure I wasn't cheating on her. She didn't know that she was dealing with an expert. One night, she came over unexpectedly. I was with another girl. She caught me and started screaming like a banshee. We're so over! She yelled over and over again. Whatever, just leave, I said. I was so tired of her drama. But then she looked at me with her big eyes and said, aren't we going to make up? Damn, we love each other. Ugh, I didn't want to deal with this crackpot right now. Just then, Stella came in with some soda. My super crazy girlfriend took one look at her, and she freaking blew up. She just went insane. She grabbed the can and threw it at Stella, saying, what the actual hell are you doing here? You disgusting gold digger! Stella looked shocked as my girlfriend kept saying she was planning to steal me from her. I jumped to my feet and yelled at my girlfriend to stop and told her that Stella has nothing to do with this. But my girlfriend wouldn't stop yelling and pushing Stella away. Suddenly, Stella looked super pissed and she pushed her back. My girlfriend fell to the floor. Damn! Stella was so hot. I loved a girl who could fight. Get out of my house right now, I said to my girlfriend. She looked so shocked. She got to her feet and threatened me, saying that her dad wouldn't be happy about this, and she left. I approached Stella and gently told her that I was sorry for my crazy girlfriend's behavior. Then I made an offer I knew she couldn't resist. Would you like to spend the night hanging out with us? She looked at me and rolled her eyes. No, she said. Damn. She wanted me all alone for herself. I turned to the other girl and said, you heard her. She doesn't like sharing. Get out. But Stella said, God, no! Again, what was wrong with this girl? She tried to walk away, but I grabbed her hand. Are you into girls? I hope she was. At least, that would make me feel better. But she looked at me like I was a dumb kid and said no. I asked her if she had a boyfriend, but she said no. With that, she pulled her hand away and left. I stood in shock as she coldly walked away from me. This was the first time I'd been rejected, and I had to admit it. It broke my heart. I was devastated and lost. I went up to my room and slept early, thinking about my beautiful, cold-hearted Stella. In the morning, Dad burst into my room, screaming and threatening me. I knew you were stupid, but I never thought you'd be such a royal idiot, he yelled. I told him that my ex was a pain, and that I just couldn't deal with her. Is that why you got her pregnant? My dad suddenly started to laugh. What? He was thrilled and said he was kidding about me being dumb. You're the smartest kid in the world. They're signing the deal right after you two get engaged. I was so confused for a minute. I couldn't understand what he was saying. He saw my confusion and figured I was too sleepy. Then he explained how my girlfriend had told her dad that I proposed to her. She said that since she was pregnant, she'd say yes. Both our dads were thrilled. When I tried to tell my dad she was lying, he wouldn't believe me. I called her, and she laughed. You're mine now. For a few weeks, she made my life hell as she dragged me around to shop for our engagement. On the day that they threw us an engagement party, she said, are you ready to be my slave for life? Suddenly, I flipped and started screaming at her. I told everyone that she wasn't pregnant, and especially not by me. I have no plan of marrying this nightmare, I yelled at Dad. Everyone stared at me in horror. Her dad had me and my dad kicked out as she burst into tears, crying about how I could say such terrible things. You're the one having an affair with your maid, she sobbed. I tried to deny it, but no one believed me. Dad didn't speak to me the whole day. The next day, I couldn't find Stella anywhere. When I asked my dad about her, he calmly said. I fired her. I was furious. How could he do that? I'm not your freaking employee. You don't own me, I yelled. I told him that I've had enough of him, and I was leaving. I went to my mom's. To my surprise, I found her with another woman. Meet my girlfriend, Anna. She lives here now, Mom said. I asked her what the hell was wrong with her, and she said that Dad had made her hate all men. As much as Mom loved Anna, she was a real pain in my butt. She didn't like me, at all. Apparently, Mom had told her what I used to do with girls, and she thought I was a jerk. And man, was she crazy. You're the scum of the earth, she said to me every time she saw me. She would go into my room when I wasn't around and leave notes on the desk. Mirror, walls, every frickin' where, saying that I was a cheater, a player, a rat. This one time, she said she had a surprise for me. I thought she was finally warming up to me. She gave me a jacket that had the words, "I am a rat," printed on it. Mom thought it was hilarious. A few weeks later, one of my girls came over. I was so psyched because I really needed to stop thinking about Stella. As I was getting ready in my room, my mom's girlfriend told my girl that I needed to change my clothes every 2 hours because I sometimes soil my pants. I had just stepped out when I heard her say it. The girl looked at my new clothes, and with a very disgusted look, she left. Mind your own freaking business! I yelled at Anna, but Mom jumped in to side with her. Shut up! Don't talk to my girlfriend that way. This is my house, and here we respect women, she yelled. I was so incredibly pissed. I wanted to leave, but I had no place to go, so I decided to try to reason with my mom's girlfriend. I'm really not as heartless as you think I am, I said, with the biggest puppy dog eyes I could manage. I told her she didn't know what it was like to grow up with parents who were always fighting. And you think I can't love? Oh, I've loved. I've loved and lost. I said my heart was broken, and all these girls were just soothing balm for my aching heart. I kid you not. I saw some tears in her eyes. She said she would do anything to help me find Stella. So she suggested I go to the police. They'll help you find her. I have a friend in the police. I'll talk to him, she said. I went to the police station and asked about Stella's address. The guy helped me, and in no time, I was outside her shabby little apartment. Her crazy father opened the door. He immediately figured out that I was some rich guy. He took one look at me and said, "Wrong address. Leave." "I know Stella," I said, just as he was about to slam the door in my face. He was surprised and looked at me again, more carefully. Behind him, I was able to see Stella with a lot of kids. She was trying to calm them down while she chased after them. She was feeding one and scolding another. Apparently, they were her siblings. "Stella!" Her dad screamed and demanded she come over. She came to the door, and immediately, her dad went inside. But I could see him trying to eavesdrop from behind the door. I took her hand and said, "I am so sorry, Stella, for everything. I love you. Will you be my girlfriend?" She pulled her hand away and shut the door in my face. I heard her dad yelling, "You crazy brat! Are you out of your mind? He's rich! Marry him!" He opened the door again. Stella looked at me and said, "I can't be with someone like you. No matter how rich you are, I want a guy who will love and appreciate me and stand by my side no matter what." Then she closed the door. Again, I couldn't believe it. For the first time, I cried. I headed back home. I knew my heart would never be the same again. But while I was walking along the street, I saw a very beautiful girl. She had black hair, gorgeous legs, and when she spoke into her phone, I could hear her lovely accent. Man, she was hot. I wiped my tears away and gave her my charming look. She smiled back. I headed straight over to her and offered her my hand.